Well, this could be quite a battle, let me tell you. In pole position, Daniel Ellis, cart number 47, with the arc coma. Next to him, the O plate, Nicky Richardson. And then on the second row, behind the arc on the right driver, Gary Paffett with the zip. And next to Gary Paffett, James Holman. So that's 5 and 51 on the second row. On the next row is Darren Townsend from Barrow-in-Furness, the local man. Can he make his knowledge here of this circuit tell? 61, Stefan Hodgetts. On the next row, watch for this boy, Daniel Welsh, 69. And next to Scott Baines, Fraser Sheeder is on the 5th row, number 13. And in very unfamiliar territory, Mike Spencer, number 12. And Spencer with the sprint. We look onto the next row. Luke Hines, number 42, flew here last week, winning it. And Colin Brown. Now then, Colin Brown is number 7 on an all cart. Expect him to go well. Then Stephen Davis and Andrew Nelson, Andrew Cowley and Oliver Whittle, Adam Charnley and Michael Conway, and Jonathan Davis and Lee Taylor. And the qualifiers from the B final, I can look in my pocket, I can find them. It'll be Mark Fell certainly. Another qualifier will undoubtedly be Martin Batty, Gareth Higgett and Thomas Edwardson. So there's only one place to look now, and that's right at this Cadet A final, because you are seeing the best young drivers between the 8 to 12-year-old group in the country, and they won't give a bit. They're going to go around a second time, so the nerves beginning to jingle that little bit now. The red light was on. I'm presuming they all are aware that yes, they are. Around they'll go in formation again. Nicky Richardson won one of the heats this morning by a considerable margin. But it's Daniel Ellis who nicked him to get pole position. Watch 51, James Holman. But the very canny driver, Gary Paffett, also on that second row. Paffett, in fact, qualified ahead of James Holman. Townsend and Hodgetts as they come round the corner. Hopefully this time they'll get started. The light is on red. Cadet A final about to get underway, and it's the green, and away they go. And Daniel Ellis tries to hold it in the first corner. Good start by Paffett, but it's also a good one by Nicky Richardson. Richardson holds on Paffett, but Ellis has it. The pole position man leads on the first lap. We have 18 laps of this, do we? Of the Cadet final? No, I think it's in fact 20 laps of the A final, as through goes Nicky Richardson. Paffett trying to go through as well. Ellis is still there. Richardson has it. Richardson then from the pole position man, Daniel Ellis. Paffett in third place, but you can see how close they are first to last at the moment. One lap completed. Richardson. Paffett has a quick look over his shoulder, bends down, tweaks that carb just a little bit, trying to get on terms and past Ellis, while Richardson, who may be just able to get out a little bit there. His father tells me that he was fastest in practice yesterday, but John Richardson will probably tell me anything. And away they go on the second lap, and Nicky Richardson is starting to come away a little bit, and Paffett's aware of that. Paffett comes alongside Ellis, and Ellis bounces over the rumble strip. Paffett goes through, has a look behind him, and at the same time as a challenge coming on from James Holman. Holman in fourth position, but Richardson from Paffett now. 19, Darren Townsend is in there as well, the local boy from Barrow-in-Furness. And battles going on all the way through the field here. They start at 8, they move up at 12. And moving along this circuit in fine style now, Nicky Richardson forcing Gary Parfitt to stay right on the limit, to even try and stay with him. In third place, still number 47, Daniel Ellis. Can Ellis come back? It looks as if Richardson is really dictating terms at the moment. Through he goes, down the start and finish straight. No visible difference on the stopwatch between the times of the two of them. For the two of them, Richardson and Parfitt getting away just a little bit from the third place battle at the moment. And Holman is clearly trying at the moment to see if he can improve on his position, but it's still Daniel Ellis in third. Holman has a little look down the outside line. Will he dive for the inside line? He'll have to watch the man behind him as well, because 19 is in there. Darren Townsend, Richardson, Parfitt, exactly the same times on the stopwatch of those two. And a hand goes up in the air. A hand goes up in the air because a red flag is out. The race is stopped. Away on the far side we have a cadet off. So the race is stopped. Red flag's out over there, and let's hope that the injury, if any, is quite minimal.
The number 27 driver is Gareth Penn.
Well, a fireman's lift necessary for the young driver over there. Can you see the cart number on that cart over there? It's not quite in my vision at the moment. Maybe it's fading old eyes. But we'll try and see in a minute. It looks like 50 something. There's no 59. There's a 57 in Jonathan Davis, and whoever it is, I'm sure he's getting the very best of immediate care. Oh, we're getting that. Does that look like 93 to you? And it's Lee Taylor. Very plucky young driver. And we can see a wheel hanging off the front of that cart, so looks as if Lee Taylor's racing day is over. Lee Taylor was a young lad who actually popped in here a minute ago. So again, it all has to restart. We'll be waiting to find out what actually is going to happen as far as the race goes, whether they'll limit the number of laps, and whether they'll start in the positions they were at the when the race had to be red flagged. Imagine that's probably true, but that's only our thoughts as commentators and not at all indicated by the clerk of the course yet. Although Dixie's just said 20 laps, and that's just been put up on the board. So a complete rerun, Dixie, a complete rerun.
Yeah, very unfortunate to see anybody have an accident in any type of sport. Of course, these machines are moving at rather large miles per hour, and things do happen if the racing gets intense like it is today. Of course, British Championships on the line, then these guys are really going for it. To win a British Championship at that age, I remember in the schoolboy days of the motocross scene when I was involved, that if you saw a British champion, then he was an absolute god. And these guys are going for that type of championship, so I can't see any reason why these boys do give any inch, and if there's a space there, they're going to go for it.
Well, they're braver than you and me, that's for definite. No doubt about that. The camera there is picking out young Jamie Holman on the Tony kart. Very good little driver. Thanks for that, Jamie. Wonder if you'll be waving at the end of the race. Daniel Ellis was in pole. He's got to try and do it all again now. 61. Stefan Hodgetts. And 65. Andrew Nelson, as the camera scans back down to the front, and you can see the O plate there of Nicky Richardson. 5 on the other side is Gary Paffett. And there they are on the other dummy grid, waiting to see what is going to happen. When you think that these little guys are little men, are 8 to 12-year-old, and they've got to psych themselves up all over again. Some pretty psyched dads out there as well. In one cart, is it Oliver Whittle? Is it? His cart's been taken up towards scrutineering. I don't know whether Oliver was involved in the incident when Paulie Taylor went off. So a battle of 4 as Ellis could lose out here. Paffett goes through, and going through with him also is Hodgetts. So Ellis is put down to 4th place there. And while all that was happening, little Nicky Richardson just turned up the screw a little bit and pulled a little further ahead of that battle. 15 laps to go when they come round at the next time. And still Nicky Richardson from Gary Paffett. Then it's Ellis, then it's Hodgetts, and that little battle of those 3 ahead of Jamie Holman. And Holman needing the next group of about 7 carts, but Nicky Richardson, there's no need to have any thoughts about that. As once again Hodgetts having a little bit of a go at Ellis, and Ellis not as close this lap as he was to Gary Paffett on the last one, swapping and changing going on between the 3rd and 4th place. But again, Nicky Richardson, as Gary Paffett has a quick look behind him, can see that he's breaking away from the other 2 and perhaps can concentrate his efforts on getting the line just right, the power on just at the right time. And in fact, Gary Paffett a little bit closer now to Nicky Richardson. Right from Zip. And John Button, who will be watching in the pits, 50 years old today, will be hoping that his rocket engine can power Nicky Richardson to victory. But I think Gary Paffett's dad would have something to say about that, because Gary Paffett is putting that Z power to the floor now and is getting closer to Nicky Richardson. As they would say, race now on. Richardson from Paffett, sliding through the corners, a fair amount of water there, and now Paffett right up with Nicky Richardson. Richardson holding the line through the corner. Let's have a look at Stefan Hodgetts, who tries a lunge in there as they go past and onto the start and finish straight. I think they have 12 laps to complete when they go through the next time, but Ellis is taken there by Stefan Hodgetts. Now, was Hodgetts being held up? That's another rocket engine there, and if Hodgetts was being held up, can he join the battle up front between Richardson and Gary Paffett? He's got a long way to go to try and do that. But look at the way that Hodgetts is already pulling away, and we've got another man through into 4th place now, and it's Jamie Holman. And Jamie Holman, when he gets the bit between his teeth, can fly. So too can Nicky Richardson and Gary Paffett. 1st and 2nd, making himself very wide, Nicky Richardson, conscious that Gary Paffett's all over him like a postage stamp at the moment. And behind them, Stefan Hodgetts pulling away from Jamie Holman. And Hodgetts could well join in this battle. We'll soon be at half race distance when they come past the pits this time. They'll see 11 laps to go. It's Richardson, and you can tie these 2 together with a very small string indeed, because Paffett is right behind him. Richardson from Pavitt. Pavitt looked as if he's going to have a go. Can't on that occasion. Wide is Richardson. A very wide cart indeed. But now Pavitt almost going alongside. Richardson has a quick look and says, oh, no, you don't. And no, he doesn't either. And all the time those two are battling, Stefan Hodgetts focused, looking at the two of them, trying to reel them in. Hodgetts has got no one close behind him. He can concentrate on the front two. And he's got a watching brief on them as well, because if either of them make a mistake, it could be Stefan Hodgetts' motor race. Coming up to half race distance. Still Richardson from Pavitt, from Hodgetts. And then you look away back and you find Daniel Ellis. And Ellis, is he going to come under the attention there of Fraser Sheeder? And Sheeder was going very quickly last week. Again, quick switch across by Nicky Richardson. There's Gary Pavitt. Have we got a stopwatch handy, Dixie? Because let's see at the gap, not between the front two so much, but see if Stefan Hodgetts is closing that gap and is going to join them in a battle for three. Don't think he's getting very much closer at the moment, but it's still Nicky Richardson. And it's 4.5 seconds dead at the moment between Gary Pavitt and Stefan Hodgetts. So Hodgetts really trying now to reel the other two in. And then look at this battle for fourth place. Fraser Sheeder having a look. He had a look, but found the door fairly firmly shut. Now it'll be Ellis on one side. Colin Brown is up there. Also Spencer is coming through the field strongly. And Scott Baines also amongst that battle. But we turn our attention to the front and have that stopwatch ready, Dixie, and let's have a look, because I don't think that Stefan Hodgetts is pulling these two in at the moment. But there's Nicky Richardson through. When they come round this time, they'll see 8 laps to go. It's 4 seconds, was it? He pulled in half a second a lap, did Stefan Hodgetts, or half a second on that lap, we should say. But here is Richardson, and here inevitably is Gary Pavitt haunting him. About 3 karts different between the two, while a man can really decide on going for all the right lines is Stefan Hodgetts. Ellis battling away with Colin Brown, and the all-kart drive up now to 4th place. Good drive from Colin Brown. He started in 12th place. Very unfamiliar territory for him, but let's have a look at that stopwatch again as Nicky Richardson leads Gary Pavitt, and I'm wondering whether Richardson is able to hold off Gary Pavitt, or whether he's actually moving a little bit ahead of him now. It's 3.5 seconds the gap between Pavitt as Pavitt dives for the carburettor and tries to maybe lean it off a little bit more and get that little bit closer to mount the challenge on Nicky Richardson. There'll be some interested dads in the pits now. They'll be looking to the left, they'll be looking to the right. I know exactly how they feel, but the man leading is still Nicky Richardson, and as he mastered this race now, has Gary Pavitt given all that he can give? I'm sure Gary Pavitt would say he hasn't. Are we going to change on the stopwatch this time? It was 3.5 seconds last time between Pavitt and Stefan Hodgetts. We'll see as they come past on the start and finish straight. They've seen 6 laps to go. It's a long race, 20 laps of this. And what is the gap on the watch? Did we get it there? It's exactly the same now. So Hodgetts at the moment not pulling these two in. There's still a great deal can happen. And Colin Brown has gone through. Colin Brown in territory all on his own as well. So, still Nicky Richardson with Gary Pavitt all over him at the back there. Not quite close enough to have a lunge yet. Pavitt needs to just pull in those extra split tenths of seconds to get close enough to Nicky Richardson. Stefan Hodgetts still with that watching brief, not able to get any closer. And Colin Brown in a race of his own now in 4th place. We'll hear a lot more of all these drivers. Colin Brown certainly one we'll hear of, but we'll hear at the moment about the man coming into the lead, or coming round with the lead, and Nicky Richardson. Down that straight before the right-hander. Pavitt still trying to haul him in, and maybe Pavitt is just a whisker closer this time, but perhaps still not close enough. Pavitt tries to take the weight off the seat, trying to get as much power down as possible, coming out of the corner. Nicky Richardson holding an inside line. Gary Pavitt down the outside line. Richardson switches across, goes for the apex on the corner. Hodgetts has a quick fiddle for his car. Maybe he can find just a little bit more. 4 laps to go. Is it going to be Richardson? Is it going to be Pavitt? And I know the Richardson family will be bobbing up and down. But I'll tell you what, so too will the Zip camp, and they'll be willing these two boys on. They'll be shortly up to one of the back markers. Still Richardson. Now Pavitt, a kart length distance from him. Will it be this lap? Is it 3 laps they're putting in now? 4 laps has come out, so it'll be 3 laps to go. Still, Nicky Richardson, Gary Paffett following the line to get himself, if he can, just close enough to Nicky Richardson to be able to challenge. They'll come across that back marker maybe very shortly. Anything can happen then, but these are two very experienced campaigners. Nicky Richardson holding off Gary Paffett. Paffett almost frustrated Richardson, the smaller of the two, in the lead at the moment. 27 could get in the way, and 27 is Oliver Whittle. And Oliver Whittle appeared to have some problems a little bit earlier on. His cart went back into the paddock road. He's given the wave blue flag, and Gary Paffett still behind Nicky Richardson and Stephen Hodgetts in a somewhat lonely 3rd place, as is the lonely 4th place of Colin Brown. So 20 laps, and already Nicky Richardson through. Now it's going to be rather interesting here. Paffett goes through as well, but Paffett, is he not now a little far off for being able to strike again? Last lap sign, and Gary Paffett is going to have to win an amazing lap if he is going to get in a position to even challenge Nicky Richardson. The O plate, Nicky Richardson. Gary Paffett, number 5. Stephen Hodgetts, 61, in 3rd place. Colin Brown in 4th place as I speak. And behind Colin Brown is Fraser Sheeder from Mike Spencer. Ellis has gone back a fair bit now. There's a little bit of a coming together there. But this is Nicky Richardson, keeping the line right, knowing that he's got to take it round in front of the dummy grid. It's almost the last corner completed. Powers out the corner, has a little look. Paffett is just far enough behind, both arms off the wheel. And Gary Paffett goes through in 2nd place. So Nicky Richardson, the O plate, wins this 1993 3rd round of the Cadet Supercar Championship. In 3rd place, a lonely but safe race for 61, Stephen Hodgetts. And in 5th place will be Colin Brown. Still a battle there was behind them. I think Fraser Sheeder has probably taken the 5th place from Mike Spencer. Ellis in that bunch as well. But we saw some very, very, very quick boys there. Congratulations to Nicky Richardson. Well done, Nicky. And well done also to Gary Paffett, who pushed him all the way, but never was able to get perhaps quite close enough to make himself, or give himself the chance to actually win it. Good drive from Stephen Hodgetts. Good drive from 12th on the grid from Colin Brown. In 4th, Fraser Sheeder in 5th place. Mike Spencer in 6th. These are to be confirmed later, of course. Mike Spencer, who started 10th on the grid. So big improvements from them. And I'm very happy indeed to see that Lee Taylor is okay. I saw Lee out there watching with his father. And hopefully nothing more than a little bit of bruising. Maybe even less than that.
Right, thanks, and we move back to the next race of the day, the Junior TKM A Final. 24 laps for these drivers. We're looking at the grid now. The pole position man is the number 7 of Gareth Howell. Alongside him we have 66 Jay Howard. Inside of the back row we should have number 72. That is Lars Sexton. In the number 4 position, number 3, Anthony Davidson. The inside of row 3, that is the S-plate driver, Peter McLaren. On the outside of him, number 56, Matthew Waller. Moving back onto row 4, we have number 28, Philip Charles. And beside him, the number 88 machine of Tom Silsley. On row 5, we have the number 20 cart. That's the machine of Charles Hollins. And right next door to him, number 12, a very quick driver indeed, as we saw last week. And qualifying in 10th position for today's final, number 12, Robbie Kerr. Row 6 of the grid is number 9, David Hines. And next to him, the number 39 machine of Darren Cotsworth. We're looking there at the number 12 for some reason. That's Robbie Kerr still. 71 that we have there, that is on row 7, that's Ashley Edwards. And alongside him, the number 21 cart of David Wright. Row 8, we move back to number 14, that's David Wandless. And alongside him, the number 35 is Chris Blumen. Move back to row 9, we have number 80, Judd Copeland. If we can find him with the camera there, somewhere in the depths of all those bodies. Alongside him, we have the number 19, that's Stephen Pratt. Row 10 of the grid is the number 4 machine of Daniel Good. And alongside him, in 20th position, is the number 16 of Matthew Bett. The 4 qualifiers from the B final are in the back there. I'm not just sure of them, nobody's passed them over. But we're going to be racing very soon indeed. They're out on the warm-up lap. Grid nowhere near formed up, so it looks like we're going to go for a second one. And we are doing. So we look red now, and we send them round once more. Start Marshall not happy with the formation of the grid. So we look red again, and we go green, so dive into the first corner, and the pole position man holds that position. Number 7, Gareth Howell. It is a very brave move. He had to hold on hard there from Jay Howard, who was on the outside of him. Jay was pressuring very, very hard indeed into the first corner of the chicane. We've got a couple of spinners up there. Can't quite see who they are from this distance, but there's no doubt about the race leader. Gareth Howell from pole position. New second place man is Anthony Davis from the outside of the second row of the grid, relegating number 66 Jay Howard down to third position. Behind them we have the number 72 driver, that's Lars Sexton. He came from the inside of the second row, and the number 88 Tom Sisley has moved up from 8th position to 5th already. So it looks like Tom could be one of the fastest drivers out there up to now. We're watching out for Robbie Kerr. He started down in the 10th position, and we're looking for him to climb the leaderboard now. He's up to 7th. He's just come up past the S-plate driver of Peter McLaren. Peter started in 5th place on the grid, so he's losing a little bit of ground, but Robbie Kerr, the little tiger, pushing his way through. He's now got a little bit of a gap to make up on the number 88 driver, who is that's Tom Sisley. Tom started in 8th position, so he's moved up a couple of positions early on there. They are on screen now. Kerr's gone up to 6th place, I've just been informed. So there's the S-plate driver, that's Pete McLaren. On the back end of him is Philip Charles in 7th position. So then we look down for the two race leaders once more. Starting to pull a little bit of a gap out now with the advantage of a clear track in front of him. That's Gareth Howell getting away a little bit from Anthony Davidson. Davidson coming under a little pressure from the 66 car of Jay Howard, who in turn is being pressured by Tom Sisley. Robbie Kerr starting to tack himself onto the back of that group. Between him and Sisley is the 76 driver. Well, it looks like 76 from this distance. Bionic Eye's gone in for repair. Drift in the back end there, Anthony Davidson in second position. 72 it is. 72 Lars Sexton now coming under pressure from Robbie Kerr. He's making that a four-way battle now for third, fourth, fifth and sixth position. 9 and 21 going through there, that's David Hinds. And David Wright battling it out down towards the hairpin. They will move back with the race leaders. Quite a handy gap there for race leader Gareth Howell, and it's going to take a titanic effort from anybody else to get in touch with him, let alone get through. But the main race is down for that fifth and sixth position between 72 Lars Sexton, starting on the second row of the grid, and Robbie Kerr, who started down on the fifth. Blue flags start waving then for back markers. Matthew Bett on the 22 kart, who's obviously one of the qualifiers to look in the programme. That's Gareth Penn. So they're coming under pressure now. The race leader goes past one of them. They're soon going to get a lot of attention. These blue flags are going to be flying a lot for these guys. So Howell travelled up from London and out of the zip camp. Must be making Martin Hines a very happy man indeed by showing one of his karts out there in the lead. Got beaten in the into second place to the zip camp in the last race, but they're looking for the win in this one. And without making a disaster, it looks like they're probably going to get it. Anthony Davidson then still in that second position. The top six places remaining the same for now. So evenly matched, 15 laps, quarter distance. Sorry, no, it's more than that, we're in longer races. 15 laps to go after this one then. And 9 laps down. So Tom Sisley, Lars Sexton and Robbie Kerr really battling it out there for third through sixth position. The race leader and the track is drying out very, very quickly indeed. These wet tyres starting to roll a little bit on these dry conditions. They're designed obviously to dig in through water when there's no water there, then they slither a bit on the dry surfaces. And the driving style of Gareth Howell starting to show that. And now the number 66 driver lap down, but it looks like that gap is coming down. I don't know actually what the time gap is, but if we've got a watch next to me, we'll see what that gap is between first and second position. It looks like Tom Sisley now coming under a lot of pressure from Lars Sexton. And right on the tail of those two is that man, Robbie Kerr. Robbie Kerr's like a terrier dog. He seems to get hold of the back of somebody and will not be shaken off at all. Exiting the hairpin then, down the cliff straight. Looks like Sisley's just having a tweak of the carburetor there to try and get a little bit more power from that machine in a straight line. He's still touching it as he goes down the pit straight. And 66, who is Jay Howard, is hanging right on in third place there, and it looks like we've got a manoeuvre by Jay Howard. Jay Howard goes back up into second position in front of Anthony Davidson. So I was almost ignoring him there. I didn't see Jay Howard in the battling, but he's up there in second position. He's just overtaken Anthony Davidson. Superb manoeuvre there. A lot of the confidence of these guys, far in excess of their years. The confidence is absolutely brimming, and the speed is very, very quick indeed. So Gareth Howell, almost forgotten him, out on his own, but a good battle there for second and third position still going on between Jay Howard and Anthony Davidson. Behind them is Tom Silsley, the number 88 driver. He's going to go past me now. There he is, quick glance. And he can see Lars Sexton, and it looked like Robbie Kerr was trying a little bit of manoeuvre at the end of the start straight there. No way through for him. We'll look down at the chicane if we can. Still no change. I thought Kerr might have had a look down the inside into the chicane, but obviously there was no way for him to go through there. And it looks like Jay Howard could be pulling an advantage away from Anthony Davidson now. A big lift of the rear wheel there from Tom Silver, who's going into paddock bend. And Robbie Kerr is still hanging on to the rear end of that Lars Sexton machine. Superbly controlled drift through the tight left-hander there from Gary Howell on the power. And it looks like Jay Howard has broken away from the third place man Anthony Davidson now. Looking back at the monitor, you see the number 5 kart. That's a machine. Can't be number 5, there isn't one. But Peter McLaren there going through just in front of the number 28 machine of Philip Charles. And that gap is definitely coming down in that second position. It looks like Jay Howard is definitely closing down. We'll try and get a time check on them for you. If I can get the watch right side up. So we'll look for the race leader, who's number 21 there. Going through, that's David Wright, just on the monitor. He's in a good battle there with Stephen Pratt and a few others. We'll try and get a time check on these drivers now as we go through. Looks something in the region of 3.5 seconds the lead. There's the leader now. Second place goes through after him. There's the third place, the same gap, or very similar gap between second and third, but it looks like Tom Silsley's starting to close down a little on the third place driver now. Still we have Pete McLaren and the number 28 driver Philip Charles battling it out there in the lower trophy positions. And 56, Matthew Waller's now come up to join that battle for 4th, 5th and 6th position. So Matthew Waller's found a turn of speed somewhere, and he's right on the tail end of Robbie Kerr now. And Robbie Kerr is very good at putting pressure on drivers. We'll find out now how good he is at defending as well as attacking. The zip down to the hairpin once more. This is the main race of the day between these guys. The first 4 have got split away from the pack. Tom Silsley's going to have to watch his back, or very, very soon Lars Sexton's going to be with him, chased by Robbie Kerr and 56 Matthew Waller. Sometimes these drivers can, of course, slow each other down when they're battling for position, but it looks like these 3 drivers are actually pushing forward and gaining momentum. So Matthew Waller right on the rear of Robbie Kerr there. As they switch back to the leader, and that gap is noticeably coming down now. The wet tyre's not just working as well. A dry line starting to appear here down the start-finish straight. But Robbie Kerr still trying to get on terms with the driver in front of him as we watch the number 3, Anthony Davidson, into the chicane. 72 Lars Sexton. They're desperately trying to keep in front of Robbie Kerr and Waller. Race leader number 7 then. Second position we have 66. Third is the number 3. Then we have Tom Sills, the 88. He's being chased by Lars Sexton. 72 follows, Lars Sexton is 72. Then we have Robbie Kerr, then we have 56 Matthew Waller. And as quickly as I can speak, they go past me. That is how close they are. 28 going up on the inside. 28 Philip Charles going up on the inside of Peter McLaren there into the chicane, and we'll look at the monitor once more and we see the race leader Gareth Howell then driving that zip kart from the Martin Hines camp. So through they go once more. Last lap this time then. We're looking for the number 7 Gareth Howell. There he is into the pits turn for the last time. Not enough time for Jay Howard to get on terms with him. Punches the air. Happy man that. And the positioning on the grid works right for the first and second anyway. Then we have Anthony Davidson, 72 and 88. Go through after him. That's Lars Sexton and Tom Silsey, and Robbie Kerr followed them home. So I'll just have to wait for the official results, of course.